Hey guys.
Hey!
It's Haley.
And Ashley.
And Ashley. And Haley.
Yeah. I had to think about where you were going with that.
We're so in sync.
We finish each other's sandwiches.
Oh my gosh. Not a Frozen quote. Hey guys.
Hey.
Welcome back.
Yo.
If you're back.
Yeah.
Are you even here right now?
What is this?
Hello. Is it me you're looking for? Okay.
I can see it in your eyes. Is it the same song?
I don't know. I only know the first part. That's kind of sad. Anyway, how are you guys today? Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, for real.
It's been I was off work today, so I've had a pretty fantastic day, except for the fact. Oh, I'm sorry, Ashley, but I gotta talk about this for a second. Just a split second. I get home from work last night. Okay. And I work yesterday I worked a longer shift than normal. I'm driving home. Okay. And I'm like, yes, I'm off tomorrow. Like I don't have to wake up early. I just want to get home. I'm going to take a shower, put my PJs on. I'm just going to maybe play some Fortnite. Okay. That's all I wanted to do last night. I get home and my dogs have escaped I call them their rooms, but I have to crate train them because I don't trust them for this very reason. I walk in and first of all, I immediately notice, I don't hear them. Like usually they're barking because they can hear me about to walk in. There's no barking, which is an immediate concern. I walk in and they greet me at the door, which is a catastrophe because they have pooped all over my house and got all of the trash out of my bathroom, strung it all over the floor. I didn't go to bed till midnight last night because I had to do all of the laundry. They got up on my bed.
That's why I don't do dogs.
I had to shampoo my carpets.
My cat does not do that. She might puke in the carpet, but it's an easy cleanup.
That's different. That's so different. I was very
Except
angry.
She only pukes in the carpet. Like the floors,
Yeah.
like the kitchen floor.
The
Nope. Nothing.
I was told that animals do that. Like they prefer if they go, they're going to go on carpet because it's softer and it's like grass.
That's stupid.
I
hate
agree.
animals.
I was very angry yesterday.
I'm just kidding. I don't hate animals. I'm just not a fan.
I think I'm less of an animal person than I thought that I was.
I just maybe don't think animals should be domesticated.
Just leave them out in the wild.
Yeah. No, I have a cat that I do love very much.
Yeah. I think I just am in over my head.
I feel like the animal community is going to come after me.
Please don't cancel us.
Yeah.
We love animals.
I do love it. I never want to see an animal hurt.
Yeah.
But I'm just
we don't wish ill intent on animals.
Like if I go to your house and there's a cute cat, I'll cuddle it, or a dog, I'll pet it, but I don't want one for myself. Other than my cat. I like my cat and that's about it.
If somebody's walking down the street and I'm also walking down that same street and they're walking a dog, I'm not going to go, oh my gosh, dog, let me pet your dog. I love it. I'm not
either. One, because I don't want to get bit. Dogs are like unpredictable.
Yeah, dogs can be unpredictable.
Especially when it comes to their owners. You don't walk up on someone's dog.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, I had to get that off my chest. I'm okay now.
Speaking of animals,
Mm-hmm.
I have so many mosquito bites.
Oh, yeah.
Is that an animal?
It's an insect. Mosquitoes are an insect. This is a debate that we've had.
Anyway, I got eaten up by, I don't think it was a mosquito. I think they were flies. Flies bite. Did you know that?
What?
Yeah, when we were in Cave City recently, I was sitting at the table and flies were everywhere because we were having a picnic.
Right.
And I'm talking like every time a fly landed on me, it bit me and it hurt so bad. And
are you sure it was a fly?
I am 99.9999999% sure it was a fly. And then so it became a topic of conversation at the table. Do flies bite? And they do. Google it. I've never Googled it, but I'm pretty sure it's a thing. Yeah, they bit. And then towards the end of the night, mosquitoes came out. And mosquitoes normally don't mess me up. Like, they don't ever mess with me. But, like, I get bit by some flies. Let me Google it. Because that's how the flies eat, is biting you.
Did you know? Well, first I have two facts actually. First of all, every time a fly lands, it throws up. Did you know that?
No.
It's true.
Yeah,
Second
it says
fact,
a fly has mouth parts designed to suck up liquids and for piercing if a fly is one that bites other animals, but it does bite humans.
Interesting. I don't know that I've ever consciously known that I've been bitten by a fly. No, I interrupted you.
What were you going to say? Your second fact.
Oh yeah, flies throw up every time they land, and also mosquitoes are more prone to bite you depending on your blood type.
Yeah, because you're sweeter.
Yeah. I don't get bit very often.
I don't either. Maybe I'm not sweet.
You don't got that sweet blood.
I don't know what kind of blood I have. I have to look it up. I have it on my medical charts. I don't know what blood type I am either. I could literally find it in 5 seconds, but I'm not going to.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I don't know if it matters. I want to say like I'm Z.
What's the most common blood type? Z?
Just kidding.
Get out of here.
What is it? Isn't it like O negative or something?
The most common blood type?
Let's Google it. What is the most common? What if we have the same blood type?
I don't know what my blood type is.
Type O.
Type O. Now I want to schedule a doctor.
Okay, here we go. I'm a genius. Just kidding. Type O is routinely short in supply and high demand by hospitals, both because it is the most common blood type and because type O negative is the universal blood type.
Oh, yeah. I did know that. You can be a universal donor.
Yeah, I'm not, though. I think I'm like A or something. I wonder if I can find it. Well,
we've got some updates. Not necessarily updates on things that we've shared in prior episodes, but there's been a lot going on this week.
Yeah,
on the internet.
Start us out.
Sure. For the Euphoria fans, Angus Cloud did sadly pass away this week.
I've seen like one Euphoria episode, and he was in it. The one episode I think I saw.
Yeah, that's he's had some other roles as well. He was 25. Which is very sad. And his dad passed away a week ago.
That's really sad.
For his family. Yeah. So that happened. And Ashley, what else?
Ariana Grande.
Oh my gosh. Don't even get me started on Ariana Grande. She's now
I'm
apparently
A-positive.
You are?
Yes.
Is that rare?
I have no idea. What is the rarest? Sorry.
Isn't there AB blood type or something? Is that the rarest? I don't know.
AB negative. It is? AB negative.
Oh, man, I was close.
Just 1% of our donors have it.
Dang.
What was our type A?
Yeah, you're A.
A for Ashley. Anyway, Ariana Grande.
Yeah, apparently, was married to Dalton Gomez.
Yeah. A real estate agent, I think.
Yes. Yeah. In like West Hollywood or something. And I'm pretty sure that they were married for like what, 2 years?
A year and a half. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Something like that.
Close enough. I guess separating because now she's reportedly dating Ethan Slater, who is the, he plays SpongeBob. I wonder if that's a thing.
SpongeBob, probably for like erotic fans.
I was thinking more of like boob sweat.
Oh. Okay. We went two completely different directions.
Anyway, Ethan Slater, he plays SpongeBob on, I don't know if it's SpongeBob the Musical's on Broadway, but there is a SpongeBob the Musical.
It must have been on Broadway, right?
Maybe.
Because it's such a big deal that he played SpongeBob, so it's got to be on Broadway.
I don't know. Not necessarily.
I'm pulling out the damn
Google it up. Google it up. Anyway, which is a very odd combo. But now this is why people are talking, at least on TikTok.
Broadway the Musical.
Okay.
Oh my God, he's so ugly.
Oh. I wasn't gonna say it. He's not my cup of tea. Yeah, he's not my.
You know, that was mean. I take that back. He's not ugly. He's just not my type. Not my type. He's somebody's type, or clearly Ariana Grande's.
But he's got a wonderful personality. Just kidding. That was
Obviously,
mean.
he doesn't because
Oh, okay. Well, yes. People are talking because Ariana Grande has, kind of had a lot of
break up with your boyfriend or your
Yeah,
girlfriend.
because I'm bored. Anyway,
You can hit it when you wanna.
in the morning. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's yours.
Like it's yours.
Copyrighted.
Did we just launch our singing career?
I don't know.
Anyway, well, Ethan Slater was also married, and like posted a lot on Instagram about how much he loved his wife, and it was like really kind of giving me like a Ned from BuzzFeed kind of.
I saw that on
vibe.
TikTok. Someone said the same thing.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad it's like a shared
Opinion. Yeah.
But he recently just had a baby.
Yeah.
Like,
and he's been with his
recently.
wife for 10 years and they're high school sweethearts.
And now he's with Ariana Grande. And it's because they're both in the Wicked
Yeah.
production movie.
Wild.
Whatever.
Wild. Like, I think she's got a thing for wanting to be with, again, I'm not a perfect person, so I can't really judge, but she's got a thing with men that are in relationships.
Possibly.
No, every relationship she's been in publicly.
Yeah. Well, and this is why people are talking on TikTok so much is because this is like, social media newsworthy event, but also people are now coming out and being like, I keep telling y'all Ariana Grande is like a bad person. And then people are now reposting like the donut shop videos and all that, which I've never been really fond of Ariana. I mean, I like some of her songs, but I don't know. I do get Mean Girl vibes.
I think that when she lost Mac Miller, it was just the end for her.
Yeah.
I think that they were probably like soulmates. He just couldn't get his shit together.
Yeah.
And
well, that's why
just never
she had to
recovered.
leave him because
He couldn't get his crap together.
Yeah.
Publicly, like they said that. Like it's not like speculation. That's like
no, they were very much in love, but she can't. That's like a tumultuous relationship at that point.
Yeah, when drugs and stuff are involved.
Right.
But yeah, everyone on the internet saying she's not a girl's girl, which is apparently the biggest insult you can give a woman.
I would agree. I don't know if it's the biggest insult you can give a woman, but if somebody looked at me and said, "You're not a girl's girl," as a woman, you know what that means.
Yeah.
And that's not a nice...
It's not.
Not a nice feeling, not a nice thing to say, but if for some women, it's true.
And I'm not like hating on her. Like, it's one thing to like make a mistake. Like, if this was her first time, okay, mistakes happen.
Right.
Learn from it, grow from it.
Yeah.
We all do it.
Understand boundaries.
Well, not all do it, but like, you just learn from it. You grow from it. But this is like the 5th time it's happened with her. Because you got to think Mac Miller was with somebody.
Right.
Pete Davidson was with somebody.
Yeah.
Ricky.
Ariana Grande. I can't remember his last name. Hang on.
Is Ricky his last name? Oh, some songs about Ricky.
Ricky Alvarez.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And because that one girl that died, what's her name? Nirvana from Glee.
Oh, Naya Rivera.
Yeah, I was close.
Nirvana?
I was close.
I was like,
Nirvana.
I was like, what? Okay.
But she was dating, I think, was it Ricky?
I believe so.
And
Naya Rivera and Ricky.
Or was it Big Sean?
Oh, it was Big Sean for sure because Big Sean is the one that wrote "I Don't F With You" and it's about Naya.
Oh,
did you know that?
No, I did not. But yeah, so Big Sean, Ricky, all of them were in relationships when they met Ariana Grande.
It's just so wild to me that he was married to his wife and had been together with her for so long, and they have a newborn.
And apparently she went over there and held the baby.
Yeah, because now his, I guess soon to be ex-wife has
publicly came out and said it.
She was like,
that's how you know this shit's not just reported. Like, it's not like speculation. Yeah, she's confirmed it.
It's messed up.
And the picture someone put on TikTok is that famous picture of Ariana and Ethan or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And she and And they said it looks like they're vampires and they're blood. Or no,
why is she so pale?
No, what they said was they look like they've both been embalmed.
Bro. Well, because everybody was like, she's not wearing her wedding ring.
Yeah.
And then now there's a picture of her wearing a white hat that has a little SpongeBob on the side of it. And I was like,
oh, I didn't see that.
You sneaky, sneaky girl. Yeah, let me find it and I'll show you.
Speaking of an Ethan, did you watch the Dolan twins?
No, I did not watch them. I know who they
I was a
are.
diehard fan.
Were you?
Yes. They're
Did you watch them like prior to them, Emma Chamberlain and
mhm.
Oh, okay.
Mostly when a lot when they peaked with Emma.
Mm-hmm.
But he's engaged.
Who?
I think it's Ethan.
Ethan Dolan?
I think so.
You know, they're like completely off the internet.
I know, but his girlfriend's not.
Oh.
His fiance, I mean.
Break up with your girlfriend. Now it's going to be stuck in my head.
Ethan Dolan engagement. Yep.
Hat. Oh, yeah, here it is. Oh, this is a TikTok.
See?
Oh, dang, it's kind of blurry. Oh, good for them. Good for them. Where the frick is the... I found it, but it's like so blurry. I'm determined to show you this SpongeBob hat. Oh, here you go. Here you go. It's like
it's gotta be
stitched in
his,
on the
right?
side, I guess. I don't know. She is so incredibly pale.
Is she from Nickelodeon or Disney? She's Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon.
Okay, that makes sense.
What a coincidence.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, yes. Ariana Grande. And, Twitter.
Oh, Twitter is now X.
It's no longer Twitter, folks.
You know,
is
it still
very
has the Twitter
strange.
house, the birdhouse on it, but whatever.
Yeah. It's very strange. I mean, do we call it X now?
I kind of like it.
It's so hard because it's been Twitter forever.
I know. I'm still going to call it Twitter, but I like the logo. Did you see the concert controversy about the sign?
I saw videos of them taking the sign down. But
Oh, they did take it down?
Well, I saw some cranes like removing it, but I don't know what the controversy is.
So they put up the sign and it's like all LED lights, right?
Uh-huh.
And when they turn it on, it's pointed directly into an apartment complex.
No.
So everyone, and it flashes like this, like strobes.
Hope they don't have epilepsy.
Yeah. And so people were complaining
Yeah.
that they were getting woken up all night because it was just flashing in their windows.
Jeez Louise.
Okay. Other TikTok drama. Karen Joy.
Oh yeah, we did not discuss this prior. I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Karen Joy is?
I don't know that name. And if you tell me,
Look it up
on TikTok.
Kaarin.
Kaarin.
Karen or Karen. I don't know how she says it.
Karen Joy. Hang on, it's like being slow to load. Dang, she's got 78.3 million likes.
You've never seen her?
No, I don't think so.
Really? She's all over TikTok.
She's like knitting and stuff. I don't think I've seen her.
She does like very maximalist, I guess is the word.
Yeah, I was gonna say she looks like very like home improvement kind of gal.
She's a nurse, and she in her free time does like decor around her house.
Oh.
And it's very unique and just random. And like she has a wall for every time somebody comes over, they paint their hand and then different colors and then they put it on the wall. And like,
what if you stop being friends with that person though? You just paint over it, I guess.
She doesn't seem the type to not have like be friends with somebody.
Oh, okay.
Well, anyway,
so we like her.
So she's very sweet. Like she's just the sweetest creator that I've ever followed. Like just genuinely, like you can tell she's just so freaking nice.
Okay.
She gets on Twitter or TikTok the other day and she's like about to cry. And she's like, so.
Oh gosh. What is it?
Let me find it. Her name is Tay Beep Boop.
Huh?
That's her name.
Who?
The girl that she's talking about. Karen Joy. Karen. Oh, it's Kari. No, it's Ka. I was right. Oh, she deleted it. No, she didn't. Okay. And it's titled About Tay Beat Boop's video. And it's of her saying that this other creator who has the same amount of followers she follows and she likes, who does the same type of designing she does, like interior design. Tay Beat Boop decided to make a video, and it was like her with like green screen. So she was in front, and then she had like videos of Karen or Corinne, whatever her name is, in the back. And she was like, this is getting out of hand. She's copying my style. Oh. Blah, 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 blah. She's showing examples, all this kind of stuff. And everyone came after Tay Beat Boop.
For like getting on there and being like, she's
yes, for being a brat. She's like, everyone in the community was like, in the DIY community was like, you're a DIY artist. The point is for people to follow you and copy you. Like one of her examples was like, she got this wallpaper and put an orange couch in front of it. It's like a wallpaper of cakes. And she's like, she even put an orange couch in front of that wallpaper. Come to find out, the wallpaper is sold by Tay Beat Boop.
Bro.
So she bought the wallpaper from Tay Beat Boop. And
now I gotta look up Tay Beat Boop.
She bought the wallpaper from her. So not only did she like was inspired by her, she made her money,
right?
And then had the audacity to come on there and trash talk her. Everyone was pissed. I didn't see one comment that was good towards Tay Beat Boop.
Did she take the video?
She did take the video down. Then she put an apology. Is apology still up?
I don't know.
Let me
still
see.
Loading. Hang on. Oh wait. Oh, yep. I posted a vid today that I should have continued to handle privately. This isn't what I want my page to be about, so I removed it. I'm passionate about giving credit to designers and creators, and I wish that could have been the case here when it was first addressed.
Here's the thing. Somebody posted a TikTok today that was like, let me translate this for you people that can't read.
Whoa.
Hold on. Tay Beat Boop. Let me read it. She doesn't. Okay, this is what she says. The person said, I posted a video today that I should have continued to handle privately. I want you guys to know that it was so funny. I wish I could find the video. Hold on. Translate. Tay Beat Boop. Translate.
Tay Beat Boop.
Translate.
It is very like, they do have similar styles, but I mean, yeah, that's the point. If you're sharing your videos online about your DIY home makeover decor things, I mean, isn't that kind of the goal?
Yeah, and here's the thing. She did not come up with freaking squiggly lines. Someone in the comments said something along the lines of, you did not come up with squiggly. When am I going to get credit? Because I did that in the 90s.
Yeah.
Where's my credit?
Wow. Okay. So we're Team Corinne.
Yes. I'm trying to find that one.
I can't believe that I don't think I've ever seen her on my feed before.
She's fantastic. She's the sweetest human ever.
Well, I just followed her. She spray painted her dishwasher.
How many followers does she have?
Corinne? 1.9 million.
Okay, she's went up 1 million since this happened.
Dang. Oh my gosh, Tay Beat Boop has the exact same number of followers, 1.9.
Yeah, but she's losing followers, I think. Because people are like, you're not a girl's girl.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, see? Prime example. Ugh. What is with, like, what's in the water?
I don't know. Translate. I'm trying to find the translate video. It was so funny that I was literally dying.
Oh my gosh, why did I just go to my social media apps?
I bet I liked it.
And I was looking for Twitter and I couldn't find it because now it's a black X. I was like, where's Twitter?
Oh, here it is.
People don't speak this language, so before I go to bed, I thought I'd do a little translation for you all. I posted a video today because I was angry and was projecting. This isn't what I want my page to be about unless everyone agrees with me. I'm passionate about gatekeeping monsters in green and blue. Even though I've never given credit to designers and creators that I found on Pinterest. I wish this would have gone differently for me. All right, let me know if you need me to read that again. I know a lot of
Oh my god.
It's one of the things was like, so Karen or whatever her name is, Miss Joy, she painted her kitchen cabinets green, like a lime green,
Yeah, I
and
saw
then
that.
blue, like a
trim or something.
like the appliances. She painted them like a light blue, and periwinkle or whatever the color is. I don't fucking know, but
They look periwinkle to me.
they look like Buzz Lightyear. That was all over TikTok too. But she was like, when I did my room green and blue, she did her room green and blue. When I did the cake wallpaper with an orange couch in front, she did the cake wallpaper with. When I did a moss mirror, she did a moss mirror. When I did a monster wall, she did a dinosaur wall. Like, shut the frick up, lady.
Why?
It makes me want to punch her in the throat. Like, you got all those ideas off Pinterest.
Yeah.
She's like, but I'm an artist.
Okay. So
And she's ripping off, she said she's ripping off my boyfriend's artwork
Goodbye.
with the monster wall.
Goodbye.
And I'm like, okay, get out. The door's that way.
I just like when you have that big of a following, I would
shut up.
overthinking every single
We already
thing.
do, and we don't have a big following.
I know. That's what
And my
I'm
mouth
saying,
can get
though.
us in some trouble.
Well, that's why I think that there's a good chance that we won't be canceled. Hopefully, fingers crossed, is because we have the ability to
Except when I said I hate
monitor-
animals earlier.
well, we're just not animal people.
Yeah,
We have no ill intent toward animals.
I do love an animal. I have chickens, guys.
that you want to get rid of.
Okay, but I have them, I feed them, and I water. Speaking of, I have to go water them after this, but because it's
I wanna see
hot.
the chickens. I wanna see
Stinky
them.
out there. I would not. Chickens stink, man.
Can't smell worse than my house did last night. Just saying. Just saying.
Anyway,
Anyway, that's did you have any other social media updates?
I did not. I did not.
I'm trying to think if there was anything else that
I'm still waiting for Brian Koberger to announce his alibi.
dude. If that'll ever come, I mean,
He's got to. I saw something that says that he has so many days to provide it to the prosecution because the prosecution's like, if you have an alibi, I'm not going to waste my time prosecuting you.
right.
So give it to us, like now. They put their hand out and they're
Why
like,
is
now,
he-
mine,
Gimme.
Yeah.
Why is he waiting so long? You think?
because it's not legit. I mean, that's the only thing that I can. Or so he's got something up his sleeves. I bet it's going to come out to be something like he was sleeping with the professor or something. Because that's the only thing.
What a
he had to
twist.
have done something that he doesn't want to say what it is.
What a twist!
You know what I mean? Like it's something that he had to go turn his phone off.
Some sort of nefarious activity.
Yes, it has to be. I mean, he's got to be. That it was something like that.
Yeah, 'cause
Something
why-
super
yeah,
bad.
Exactly. Why would his phone be off?
Yeah, it's something bad enough that he waited until now to give an alibi.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't wait to see what he's gonna say.
I can't wait either. Anyway. Okay, are we ready to get on?
Take us aboard the train, Ashley. Take us aboard.
Okay, so this week we are going to talk about
Dun dun dun.
Casey motherfucking Anthony.
Yeah, Casey Anthony.
I wanted to title it Casey fucking Anthony, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to be nice. Or not nice. I'm just going to be rated PG as I'm saying it.
I'd say probably more
Sorry, guys, if I cuss. I
PG-13.
can't help it. I'm a cusser,
I
and
would
it just
say
happens.
We're TV-17 or R. Are we R?
I think we're R.
Okay. We do talk about some pretty gruesome stuff.
I think PG 13.
13?
You think?
Or TV-17.
What is TV 17?
TV-17. Exactly what it sounds like.
Is that not the same thing as PG 13?
No, TV-17. Like,
Oh, so like you have to be 17,
yes.
and then PG 13 is 13 and up.
Right.
Oh, right. Okay. I got it.
I don't think TV-17 is really a thing anymore, but it used to be.
But that's TV. What about movie 17?
Okay, so we're rated R then.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let me pull up my doc.
I'm sure you guys all know Casey Anthony.
Ugh.
And also, you know,
Let me pop open a cold one for this.
pop it open. Ooh, do the crisp. Oh yeah, that was good. That was good. Anyway, she had last year a docuseries come out, and it was the first time that she had done like a any type of interview really
Yeah.
since her trial over 10 years ago. Over 10 years ago?
Yeah.
It's 2023. Yeah,
2011 was
Yep.
the trial.
Yeah, over 10 years ago.
So I'm going to let people know now. I hate Casey Anthony with a firing passion. Like, I saw it on my Facebook the other day.
You're not supposed
It
to
was
hate
like,
people,
I don't give a
Ashley.
crap. I hate people. I mean, okay, let me rephrase. I meant to say I hate Casey Anthony. Like, I don't think I hate anybody except Casey Anthony. She is the one that I'm like, if hell is real, that's where she's going. And she's gonna hopefully be miserable for the rest of her soulless life. Literally, I hate Casey Anthony. Like, I told her before we started this is gonna be like, I'm gonna be FBI flagged.
It's going to get us on a watch list.
Yeah. I don't care. It makes me so freaking mad. Like, she makes me so mad. On my Facebook, like 10 years ago today, or not today, it was like a couple weeks ago or whatever.
Mhm.
It said, oh, just in case you forgot, I fucking hate Casey Anthony. Like, that's how much I hate her. Like, every year I'll share that on Facebook. I hate her.
It's like a ceremonial thing for you
There's
at this
no
point.
if she did this or not. Okay, so if you've never heard of, if you lived under a freaking rock,
Mm-hmm.
then you would not know that Casey Anthony murdered her daughter
Her
and got away
2-year-old.
with it.
Yes.
And got a freaking way with it.
Yeah. This happened in 2008.
2008.
And I was 8 years old in 2008. But I do remember seeing it on the news a lot. Because that's, I think at the time they had not found Kaylee, which is Casey's daughter. They hadn't found her remains. And then when they found her remains, and it really started popping off.
Yeah. See, my dad had just died that week. And I was at church camp.
Yeah.
And there was no cell service, no news, no newspapers, no nothing.
Yeah.
So we didn't know anything. Well, I didn't know. The adults probably knew about it, but I did not as a 14-year-old. And so I didn't know anything about it. I followed it when the trial happened in 2011. I followed it. I remember watching it. I remember where I was.
Really?
And I remember the verdict and all that stuff.
I mean, people were, which we're skipping forward a little bit here, but we're going to fill in the gaps. Ultimately, they found Casey Anthony not guilty.
Which is absolutely insane. That's something I forgot to do. I was going to Google the jurors' names so I can blast them.
The reaction of people watching this real time,
Was insane.
insane.
They said it's the crime of the century. It was the next OJ.
She just got away with it, dude.
She did. Did OJ was OJ guilty or not guilty? I don't remember. Y'all don't come for me. You're having to Google it, are you?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
OJ,
so
no.
I'll start.
OJ was guilty because he was just recently released,
Oh,
wasn't he?
I don't know. To be honest, I didn't follow OJ.
Let's
Remember, I
wait a
thought that had to
second.
do with Ashton Kutcher.
What? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Though prosecutors argued that Simpson was implicated by a significant amount of forensic evidence, he was ultimately acquitted on both counts of murder. So he was found not guilty.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Robert Kardashian was his defense attorney.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Okay. So let's wind it back.
We're going back to the beginning.
July 15th, 2008,
Mhm.
Orlando, Florida. Hot as hell.
Set the scene.
Cindy Anthony calls 911. And she's in the 911 call, she says she's requesting that her daughter be arrested for stealing her car.
Mm-hmm.
So the police show up. Then they drop this bomb that Kaylee has been with the sitter for 30 days and has not been seen.
Yeah, and they're worried.
And Cindy is beside herself. And so is George.
Right.
George is too. George is the dad
Mm-hmm.
of Casey.
And it's noted, Casey and her daughter Kaylee lived with her parents.
Yes.
So this was even more concerning.
Yes. So the detectives get there and they're like, what do you mean she's been gone for 30 days? 31 days.
Yeah. Yep.
And she's like, I dropped her off with Zanny the nanny, which will come into play later. But she dropped him off with Zanny the nanny. They're like, okay, hop up in my patrol car.
Mhm.
We're going to go to Zanny's house and we're going to get your daughter back. Like, duh.
Come on now.
So she takes him to this apartment. And this is where it all starts, people. So she takes him to the apartment and she She points at an apartment. The officer looks in the window. It's completely empty.
It's been vacant for months.
Yeah, for like 6 months or something like that.
Yeah.
And so then Casey so come to find out, she said on June 17th, the day Kaylee went missing, she dropped her off at the nanny and she went to work at Universal. Kept calling the nanny's phone and no one would answer.
Red flag number 1.
Yeah. So the police, what they did was they go to that apartment. The next day, they dropped Casey off that morning. It was like morning time by the time. Oh, I forgot to say.
Mm-hmm.
So in the 911 call, she said, my daughter stole my car and it smells like there's been a dead body in it.
Yep.
That's very important. So,
because the car got impounded.
Impounded. Yeah. It set out, it ran out of gas.
Yeah.
And it got towed into an impound lot and it sat there for 30 days.
And then Cindy and George had to go pick up the car.
Yeah. They found it.
Yeah. But it smelled like
a dead body.
Right.
Decaying. And we might point out that George is an ex-police officer.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been around dead bodies. He knows what a dead body smells like.
Right.
According to my husband, you know what a dead body smells like. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's a dead body smell. Like there's no other smell like it.
Gosh, that's crazy.
So it's like, I just don't get like there's 2 people I hate in this world. 2 people. Casey Anthony and Cindy Anthony. I hate them equally.
Okay.
Because I get wanting to protect your daughter, but then there's protecting your daughter and then there's just being naive.
Right.
So anyway, so the police go back to the apartment complex the next day and talk to the apartment manager. And they said no one has ever lived in that apartment named Zanny. Or what was her name? Zendaya Gonzalez. Right? Zenita.
Let me find it because I don't know how to pronounce it.
It's in the second paragraph.
Zenaida Gonzalez.
Zenaida. That's what it is.
Yeah.
She said, they were like, she's never lived here. Mm-hmm. So then they tracked down Zenaida, whatever her name is. I'll call her Zanny. Zanny the nanny. They tracked her down.
Yeah.
And this woman has never heard of Casey. This was not a young woman, like Casey said. This was an old woman. Mm-hmm. She was like, I've never heard of Casey. I've never seen Kaylee. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, this lady had nothing to do with this.
Which, in the new docuseries that just came out,
mm-hmm.
Casey Anthony confirmed, which it was like a whole episode of her talking about how she was like a pathological liar.
Yeah.
And she said that she knew of Zenaida. She knew that she was a sitter. She knew people who kind of used her for her sitting services. But she was like, she's never been my sitter. And just like outed herself. And I was like,
such a
why? Like, why would you try to deter? If you truly were worried about your daughter, why would you try to deter an investigation? I don't get it. Anyway, Continue.
So then the next day, so according to Casey, her friends that she works with also use Zanny the nanny.
Right.
So they went to Universal to then talk to the 2 employees that she said that whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They get there and they're like, Casey Anthony does not work for us.
Yep.
She hasn't in over 2 years. So she was telling her mom and dad that she was going to work every day at Universal. Does not work there.
She did at one time work at Universal.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
But
before that.
Yes, correct.
So the officers go pick up Casey and they're like, hey, take us to your work. We're going to, talk to your employees, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Casey strolls up to Universal, goes up to the little entrance for the employees.
Yeah.
The security guard's like, your name's not on the list. And she's like, check again. I know so-and-so, such and such. And she's like, they're like, that's not, no. And so then a manager walks out and was like, oh yeah, she can go on in, which makes no sense to me why you'd let someone in. I think it's because she had 2 cops with her. So they were like, okay, she's not going to
just let her go through.
Yeah.
Right.
So she comes in.
She's waving at people, like trying to make the cops think that she knows the people that work there.
Just waving like, hello. And they're all waving back at her like, who the fuck is this?
Right.
And she turns down in a hallway to go to her office and it's a dead end hallway. And so she turns around, looks at the officers and she's like, I don't work here.
Yeah. Right then and there. I was like, what is the point of this like rat race?
Yeah. So they took her, blah, blah, blah. She acted like that. So they confronted her with everything.
Yeah. And then they arrested her for child neglect.
Yes. And they pulled the cameras at the apartment complex. She never showed up at the apartment complex ever. And the apartment was empty since March. And this was July. So it wasn't 6 months. It was like however many months that is.
I don't know.
Anyway.
A little while.
So they arrest her. First call was recorded. Ended up her just yelling at her mother the whole time. And all she wanted was her boyfriend's phone number. The whole phone call.
Mm-hmm. Listening to the phone call like drove me nuts because there was zero concern in her voice of like, where's my daughter? Because let's pretend for a minute that she really doesn't have any involvement with Kaylee's death. Why, as a mother, as a parent, would your first instinct not be, where's my kid?
Yeah.
Like, that should be all that matters to you. But no, she doesn't. She has
zero care.
Right.
In a later interview she did with her mom and dad, it was a video phone call at the jail. And they're like, her mom's like, in your heart, in your gut, what do you feel like? What do you think? And she was like, she's near. I can feel it in my heart. She's near us. I'm like, no shit. You dumped her body a mile away from the house.
Literally, that's where they found her remains. Kaylee was 2 years old.
2 years old. I cannot imagine. Like, okay, so we went to Cave City this past weekend.
Yeah.
And my brother thinks I'm a helicopter mom. Whatever. So we get into the crowd of people and I turned around, and this is the second time this ever happened to me. I turn around and my eyes cannot spot Giacomo in our group of people. There was probably 8 of us, and I could not find Giacomo in this huge crowd of people. And I said, where's Giacomo? And I started flipping out, and he was standing behind my nephew, I think, who's like 6 foot.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's not really 6 foot, but he's really tall.
Right.
And so I couldn't see him, and I was freaking out because that split second I thought my son was gone.
Right.
And when I nearly had a panic attack, because it was like that mom instinct in me goes to, I will literally slit anyone's throat that gets in my way. Like, I'm not playing. Like, I am like, my brother was like, he put his arm on me and he was like, dude, chill. Like, he's right there. And I was like, you don't understand. Obviously, his kid, so I guess he understands. But like that second where I thought I cannot find my son, I literally would have killed anybody in my way.
Well, also in the world that we live in, you see such bad stuff.
I need to stop watching true crime. I told you that the other day. I've got to stop watching it because it's literally making me crazy.
Well, it's like heightening the anxiousness.
Yeah, of someone taking my kid.
Right.
Like when the same day I took him to the bathroom, and he's old enough now where he can't go in the girls' bathroom with me anymore. He has to go in the boys'. So I leaned down, I got in his ear, and I said, if anyone touches you or goes near you, I want you to scream as loud as possible.
Yeah.
He said, okay. And he went in the bathroom. And my husband's always like right there to be like, I'm going to go with him. But my husband wasn't there at that moment.
Yeah.
So my mom instantly saw what I was doing. And she was like, she sent my nephew in there with him. And I was like, I have it drilled into my son. If you're in a public restroom and I'm outside waiting for you and someone even comes near you in that bathroom, I want you to scream at the top of your lungs.
Yeah.
And I will come save you. And it's so sad that I have to teach that to my son. But what are you going to do?
It's also like at a point where there's constant fear to be in public.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's scary.
I'm terrified of like a shooting happening in a public setting.
Yeah.
Like going to a movie theater stresses me out because like that's a perfect target.
Right.
Even working where I work, not like my work, but my other work, it stresses me out because that's a perfect spot to. Anyway, sorry, my mic went out. But anyway, it's a perfect spot to something bad to happen. Not that it will, or not that it ever will, or
just
whatever.
Location
wise, it's very stressful for me. Even though we're not in an area that's probably that's horrible to say. I can't say that my area is not. I'm having technical difficulties, so hopefully now we won't have this problem. But like I was saying, everyone thinks it's not going to happen to them. That's what stresses me out because everyone has that mindset. Like, for instance, I know somebody in my life that didn't take the necessary precautions every day at their job. And I said that one thing's going to happen and it's going to be like a rude awakening for you guys to realize that you're not taking these precautions every day because you think it's just not going to happen to you.
Right.
It can happen to anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this whole Kaylee and Casey thing, not like that situation. Like I'm not going to kill my kid, but somebody can snatch your kid like that, and it can happen to literally anybody. Anybody that's lost their kid would say they never thought that would happen to them. They never thought it.
Nobody ever thinks that it's going to happen.
And that's the problem. People get complacent.
Yeah.
In their everyday life.
Too trusting.
Yes. Anyway, that's my little rant.
No, it was necessary.
Anyway, Casey Anthony's a liar. Liar, liar pants.
On fire. For real.
So anyway, so they arrest her. She's in jail. She does all these recorded calls, and the whole call, she's like, I want my boyfriend's phone number. Give me my boyfriend's phone number. And then the cousin on the phone's like, she said, you're not even concerned about Kaylee. Like, why are you not crying? Why are you not upset? And she's like, because I know she's fine. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like,
Meanwhile, the whole time during this 31 days that her parents have not seen Kaylee whatsoever, she's been out partying and like hanging out with people and just like
got a tattoo.
Got a tattoo, like rebelling against her parents because right before Casey took Kaylee and like left because she got into an argument with her parents like the day before. And I guess was just trying to rebel because she was only like, what, 20, 21?
She was 19 when she got pregnant. So she was probably about 21, 22.
Yeah. Still trying to rebel against her parents. But there's, just very little lack of concern for the whereabouts of her child, which inevitably is going to make people think that you were in on it.
Yeah. So everyone in the community was anti her.
Right.
Like she was in jail. It hadn't even been like she hadn't been arrested for murder yet. And people were like banging on her front door at her parents' house, like, you baby killer. Like
standing outside of their house with posters.
Like freaking protesting. Like it was insane. So anyway, they arrest her. They went to the boyfriend's apartment, questioned him. They said that Kaylee would come over all the time, and then June hit and she never came over again. Casey just said she was at the nanny's or at her parents' house. Makes me so mad.
I don't get it.
And like the boyfriend and the boyfriend's roommate said she was a fantastic mother.
Yeah, everybody that Casey was friends with that they interviewed, like in every single interview excerpt that they played, everybody was like, she's a great mother. Like, I mean, there's no reason for me to believe that she would have done anything.
Yeah.
But then somebody also made a good point, which I saw this online, and they were like showing videos of Chris Watts like hugging his girls.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's a good point.
It could be anybody.
It could be anybody.
Anyway, so the police figured out that Cindy Anthony called 3 times that night. They thought there was only 1 phone call, but there was 3. She got her daughter's car that day, and it says it smells like a dead body in the car. Police take the car to the whole bay of the police, like, auto center, I guess, smelled like decomposition. Oh. And besides the smell, they could see a stain the size of a child's body, and they found several human hairs. Yeah. And they got a canine to sniff the vehicle that sniffs for decomposing bodies. And it alerted to the trunk where they found this stain and human hairs.
It says the hearing introduces evidence that a cadaver dog had zeroed in on the odor of human decomposition in the car trunk and the Anthony's backyard, as well as Cindy's admission that they had all seen Kaylee after June 9th. Although Casey was held for relatively minor charges, they set her bail very high because of the evidence that was stacked against her. But in their backyard, it was an overwhelming smell in the car, in Casey's car. And then people want to say, I don't believe that she had any involvement with it. Okay.
So in the interview, that phone interview that, it says they called George and Cindy in for questioning. The car had been towed and they went in and recovered the car. And that's what they were talking about during the interview, was them getting the car. And the officer was just like in your heart, like, what do you think? Whatever. And then I also noted here the detective holding Cindy was creepy AF. Like the whole interview, I thought it was her husband that was sitting next to her.
I know.
The way he was touching on her and stuff.
Very inappropriate.
Very inappropriate. like just rubbing her arms up and down, like holding her hand, hitting her thigh, like just touching her everywhere. And it was so uncomfortable. And I thought it was George the entire time I was watching it. And then I realized, holy shit, that's the cop. That's the detective.
Creepy.
I get what he was doing. Like he was trying to build a
Console or, like-
relationship. Like,
Right.
he could have known them for all I know. Like, I don't know.
Maybe.
But
I mean, George was a retired police.
yeah.
But still inappropriate.
But then the next clip in the doc is of her in that interview, in the jail interview. Not interview. It's not an interview. It's
like
a
a-
call.
right.
Like a call between
Video
her parents
call.
and her. And her mom said, someone said Kaylee is dead this morning. And then Casey said, surprise, surprise. And then she's like, I've been here for a month. Do you understand how I feel? Everything has been taken from me. Do you not understand? Like, bitch, I will punch you in the throat.
I just don't understand. Like, first you show zero concern, and then she's going to get angry because people are calling her out because she has zero concern.
Yeah.
That made me mad.
It-
I just don't understand how
She had zero concern. And that's the same interview where she said that, it's the same interview where she said that, my mind just went completely blank. Where she said in her heart, she felt like Kaylee was close.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway, in October, which did you have anything before the charges that you wanted to add?
I don't think so.
October 14th, she gets charged with the first degree murder. Now, this is before they found Kaylee's remains.
Because they had the hairs and stuff.
Right. What they did was they tested the hairs that were in the trunk, and they could see. Well, first they tested it, and the DNA matched Kaylee,
Mm-hmm.
but the hair had, which I never knew this, the hair was banded.
Mm-hmm.
So on the hair follicle, if they look at it through a microscope, there's a space on the actual strand of hair that's dark. And usually that, not always, but usually it indicates that there was some decomposition from wherever it came from.
Yeah.
Now, people alive can have, some of their hairs can be hair banded, but it's not very often.
Yeah.
So,
And not for untreated hair.
right. Usually it's either like because it's super dirty or like,
Bleached or
Right.
something like that.
yeah. But
Again, we're not scientists, but that's just what the scientists said.
Yeah, that's their
So
words.
they did search parties, and the public became a crazy fest. And because Florida laws, everything was very public. So in the state of Florida, all court documents become public.
yes.
In a lot of cases that we've talked about, cases I've read and stuff like that online. That's why there's so many Florida cases, because everything's so out in the open.
To the public, they're
Yeah.
not hiding anything.
If you request the interviews, they have to give them to you. Like it's insane. So anyway, so all the interviews and the 911 calls got released, and they charged her with murder. And her attorney, Jose Baez,
Mhm.
is her lawyer. And he's not a criminal defense attorney either. So that was like, everyone says that he was kind of like over his head.
because it was such a high
Profile.
profile case.
It had national, international. It was very.
What did I thought there's like a quote from him. Hang on.
And the way I do my research is like I watch docs and I'm taking notes as the doc's going. Like I'm literally looking at the TV as I'm typing
Yeah.
everything that's being said or whatever. So like none of my stuff's in order because they bounce back and forth in docs.
Oh, yeah.
So like I'm like scrolling through and I'm like, oh wait, I forgot to say this.
That's okay. That's okay. So yeah, October 14th, she's charged with the murder. And this is from biography.com. This is just like a complete timeline from A to Z of the entire thing. But they said the unsealed indictment also charges her with aggravated child abuse, aggravated manslaughter, and 4 counts of providing false information to law enforcement. In response, her lawyer, Jose Baez, says his client's actions will become clearer at trial. And then this is a direct quote. He says, I sincerely believe when we have finally spoken, everyone, and I mean everyone, will sit back and say, now I understand. That explains it. So he was very much going into it and portraying to the public that they're going to have this case of like, okay, we need to back off a little bit because now we see that it wasn't Casey. And that's really the exact opposite of what
If
happened.
you can't see me, I'm rolling my eyes really hard right now.
Very hard, yes. Understandably, I mean.
So December 11th, 2008, not 20, 2008, they got a call from someone that found a skull. And then they found a baby blanket and trash bags. They sent the bone samples for DNA testing, and they were found a quarter mile of away from the Anthony's home. And 8 days later, it came back. It was Kaylee.
Yeah, she was in a trash bag.
Yep, with duct tape on her face.
Yep.
And this is what pisses me off about this. Is that because she sat so long in the woods and animals got to her and stuff like that, she had no like flesh or no like tissue or anything like that. So they couldn't determine how she died. And that's how Casey got away with it.
Right.
That's exactly why Casey got away with it, is because they couldn't determine how she died. Our justice system is so messed up. If the sense of like every evidence points to this woman, but because they couldn't determine, I saw a jury say that the reason why she was not convicted was because there wasn't enough evidence to prove how she died. It could have been an accident. It doesn't matter if it was an accident.
Let's look at the facts.
Yep.
This 2-year-old is dead in a trash bag in the woods.
With duct tape all over her face.
Okay, so we don't know if she shot her. We don't know if what happened. So we're just going to let her off. That makes zero sense.
It makes me so angry.
Well, and what Casey says happens is that she took a nap at the house because people asked her very straightforward, like not really straightforward, but Casey was like, I know the question that everybody has is, like, where was I when I couldn't find her? She says she fell asleep. She said Kaylee was right beside her in her bed. Casey fell asleep and she woke up to her dad shaking her. And he was like, where is Kaylee? And so she's like, what do you mean? I mean, she was like right beside me. So they're searching the house. They don't find her. She goes outside, can't find her. She comes back and says that her dad is holding Kaylee and she's soaking wet. She had gotten into their pool and drowned. And she said that her dad was like, it's okay. She's going to be okay. And she said she believed it and then she never saw her again. That makes absolutely no sense. If you're a mother and your child drowned, I don't care who it is. If somebody's holding your child,
yeah,
you're not sure if they're dead, alive, take them to the hospital.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a parent and I understand the mindset of you're not just
or why not just call 911?
Exactly.
You're not going to go to jail if your kid accidentally drowns in a pool.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand.
It happens all the time. Unfortunately, it does. People don't watch their kids close enough because it can happen in a second. Yeah. It can literally happen. I had an incident with Giacomo like that one time, and it could literally happen in a second.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that I wasn't watching my kid because we were at a public pool and I was literally, my eyes were searching everywhere. I was like, Giacomo, because I thought he was up in the little tower thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't. He went down the slide on the tower and it goes into the deep end and the lifeguard jumped in and got him. But it's the point that like I was looking up at the tower like, Giacomo, where are you? Where are you?
It takes 0.2 seconds.
It literally takes 2 seconds. And it's not the parent's fault by any means. Now, there are some parents out there that should watch their kids closely, but
right.
It happens and accidents happen.
Yeah.
And if it's an accident, she should have reported it.
Right.
But she didn't because it wasn't an accident.
Yeah.
There should have been no reason for duct tape to be on her face.
Exactly. And so now I say now, this happened, over a decade ago, but Casey keeps going back to this thing of, oh, well, my dad abused me growing up, and it does seem like it did happen.
You think?
That he abused her?
I don't think he did.
You don't think so?
No, not at all.
I feel like the videos that I've seen of him more recently in interviews where he's like, I just think that, I do owe her an apology and I hope that she forgives me for things and yada, yada, yada.
I don't think so. I think it's a man that just like is just done with life. Because, like, he
Yeah.
tried to kill himself.
Yeah, he did. He left a suicide note.
And I genuinely don't think that happened, because then she claimed her brother did the same thing to her. And then she
Yeah.
claimed it happened again by Kaylee's dad. So I'm sorry, but like the girl that cried wolf, and I'm not, and I hate doing that because I never want to like not believe another woman ever.
Yeah.
But Casey Anthony has lied so many times. And the
She-
look on her
yeah.
dad's face when that came out, like on the courtroom.
In the trial. Yeah. And she says they asked her, because her Jose Baez was speaking, like, you know, to the jury or whatever. And he was like, you know, this is a woman who has been sexually assaulted by her father. And then in this docuseries interview, they were like, did you know that he was going to say that? Because apparently it's not something she was very like vocal about.
Mhm.
And she was like, no. She was like, I very much did not know that he was going to say that. And then the camera kind of pans over to her parents in the audience, you know, in the courtroom. And I don't know, there's like not a look on his face of shock, but it's more so just of
Defeat.
right. Like,
Here's my thing with it is that, one, it wasn't brought up that her brother did it to her in trial.
just her dad.
Yeah. And that should have been. But the thing the reason why I don't believe it is because Jose Baez had to hire a private investigator.
Mhm.
And he came back after all this and he made court documents, like, because like it's illegal what he was doing, apparently, Jose.
Really?
And he came out and said, it was my idea about the dad thing. He straight up was like, I gave Jose that idea to say that about her dad.
What?
You didn't see
PI?
that in the doc?
No.
Which doc did you watch?
The
Just the
one-
one that she did on Peacock?
Yes.
No, I watched the original, like, OG doc.
Oh, okay.
And
No,
I watched the
didn't watch
Peacock
that.
one. But the OG one, the PI came out because he was saying that he walked in Jose Baez's office and Casey
Yeah.
Anthony was naked. And she was paying him in sexual favors because she didn't have money to pay legal fees.
Oh my gosh.
So he was sleeping with her. And then the PI also came out and said that, I have it in my doc, that he said that it was his
Dude.
idea to come up with this plan, this theory, or this. He's the one that went to Jose and was like, look, this is what you need to say. This is what you need to do. That's why I don't believe it, because the
Oh.
PI on the defense team came out and said, no, that was my idea, homie. Like,
Oh.
I'm the one that told them to say that.
I feel like, is there any chance that they can reopen this case?
No. Double jeopardy. You can't.
She's going to live the rest of her life a free woman.
I'm trying to find that. May 2016, private investigators said that he alleged that Jose was in control of Casey. Documents came out that Casey paid off her legal services with sexual favors. The private investigator said he was hired by the defense to find out the body before anyone else did. He was hired to find the body before the public did.
What?
And it says he is who came up with the theory of Kaylee drowning in the pool and her dad doing what he did. Because the private investigator went to their house and saw the pool that was not gated up and the ladder was in the pool, and he said that was his idea.
It's like a perfect setup
Yeah.
for what happened.
I'm pretty sure he said that about Casey's dad. Now I'm like thinking back on it. I don't remember, but I want to say, because I remember thinking like she's full of shit.
It is. I will say, I watched it after you told me that you'd watched the Peacock docuseries, and you were like, it was infuriating because it was giving her the chance to just lie freely.
Yeah.
But there wasn't any, like, you know how sometimes in a true crime docuseries or whatever, it'll give the person the ability to give their side of the story, but then it gives them evidence that is against it.
Mhm.
It did not do that.
Yeah. And there's zero evidence that he's ever done anything to his daughter. She's never told anybody before this day.
Yeah.
Before the trial. She's never told anybody before that. And here's the thing. Casey's mom believes everything. Cindy Anthony believes anything that comes out of Casey's mouth. But yet she is still married to her father.
It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
And so not only did her father do that to her, her brother did it too. And Kaylee's dad.
She did say, now that I'm thinking about it, which I should have watched the original doc, but
Mhm.
in the docuseries, the Peacock one, she was like, never said, when she was talking about the abuse,
Mhm.
she never said that it was like a conscious thing, if that makes sense. Like, she wasn't like actively conscious. She just said that she would wake up in the morning and her bra would be lifted and she would feel sore. But that's really that's like as much as she.
I feel like this is a tricky topic because like you always want to believe another woman, but like with Casey Anthony, it's so hard because all she's done
lies
is
about
lie.
everything, right?
She's like so good at it too. Well, no,
What's
she's
the-
actually really bad at lying, but like
I just, from the get-go,
she does it so like she's a pathological liar.
Anybody who was concerned, like say that Kaylee got kidnapped, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Any concerned parent is going to do whatever they can to help an investigation to bring their kid back.
Yes.
So her right off the bat lying about her workplace, lying about pretty much everything, that she was with the sitter that she never even had. What other reason would she have to do that other than her involvement?
yeah.
She definitely did it.
Makes me so angry. But okay, so the trial, they did jury selection, right? And they said it was extremely hard to find jury that didn't already know about it and that
Right.
didn't already. So
Have a bias.
yeah, and so not what's the word I'm thinking of? Not spoil it, but obviously she's found not guilty, right?
Right.
And they said the only reason she was found not guilty was because the only people left out of everybody that was convinced she already had done it were people that were on the I'm not sure if she did it side. So that's why she was not convicted, because you had a group of people that knew about it but just were unsure. So you have a group of unsure people. They're not going to all come together, all 12 people. All 12 people have to say, yes, she did it. If 11 out of one person says, well, I don't think she did it, then it's over.
What?
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, it has to be an unanimous vote.
Unanimous.
Whatever.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think Google it to make sure I'm right. But
I thought it was like a majority rules kind of thing.
no, it's all 12 jurors have to vote.
Do all jurors have to agree on a guilty verdict? Let's see. Let's see.
I could be sprouting off lies, but I'm pretty sure that's how that works. I'm an idiot, so who knows?
Oh, okay, here we go. This is from findlaw.com. Must all jury verdicts be unanimous? After both sides in a trial present after both sides in a trial present all of their evidence, the jury goes to a private room with all the evidence and deliberates. The jury then votes on a verdict and presents it to the court. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. If you've seen television shows or movies that involve the jury process, you may have noticed that at least some of the time, the jury must be unanimous in its verdict. At the same time, you may also wondered when unanimous verdicts are required and what happens if a verdict can't be reached. Let's see. Okay, that didn't really answer my question. Hang on. Okay, in state courts, whether a jury needs to be unanimous depends on the state and the type of trial. For criminal trials, nearly every state requires the jury to produce a unanimous verdict. For civil trials, almost 1/3 of the states require a majority for a verdict. So, yeah, it had to be unanimous.
Yeah, it has to be one. Like if one person says, "I don't know," the whole case is gone. Our system is messed up.
That needs to be revised. I feel like, and reviewed.
I say that until like I get in that situation, but like,
dude, I didn't know that. I had no clue that it had to be unanimous.
yeah, it's so messed up, and that's what this jury one of the jurors did an interview in the doc, and he was like, "I get death threats every single day," and I'm like, "You kind of deserve it." No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't deserve it, but I get why he's getting them.
Yeah.
He doesn't deserve it. He seemed like a nice guy, but I do get it. Like, I do
Right.
understand why people were so upset. I've never been upset enough where I'm going to death threat you ever. I would
Yeah.
never do that to somebody ever. However, I can understand why people were those crazies out
Frustrated.
there.
Right.
Here's my theory.
Oh, tell it.
Well, it's not a theory. It's a statement more. Or a question. I want to know why someone hasn't offed Casey Anthony yet. Out of all the crazies in the world, how
You
is
know
she
what?
still alive? I don't get it. As much as people hated her, and I don't think she deserves to die. Like, don't get me wrong.
No.
I don't think she deserves to
But,
die,
like-
but I'm shocked she hasn't been like beaten to death or something.
Yeah.
And I know she's in hiding 90% of the time, but
That is a good question. Because there are people like
I don't know how
like-
she's safe. That's what I'm saying. Is she do they have her in a safe house?
I mean, I don't know. She said in the doc that she has a roommate, and the reason why they, did it in
Yeah.
a location is because of their privacy.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, she kind of has to, she can't like really.
She lived with her legal team for the longest time.
Yeah, she's very close with them.
Yeah.
At that point, I'd just be like, look, put me in confinement. That way, solitary.
No, she'll probably
confinement.
die in prison before she would out in the public.
Somebody would definitely.
She's probably
kill
not
her
saving
in
her. Yeah, that's what. It's not a theory or anything, like I said, but it's like a fact. Like how is she still alive? Like with all the crazies out there, like
Yeah, like the guy who killed Christina Grimmie because he was a huge fan of her.
yes, like why isn't Casey Anthony like?
I get what you're saying. No,
like I'm not trying to sound mean or
no,
anything.
There's like universally despised people.
Yes,
You know what I mean? Casey Anthony,
yes,
like Donald Trump. People
yes.
are very like, you either agree with them or you can't stand them, and I don't understand how. I guess they just have super high security.
Well, you got to think Donald Trump. Yeah, 100%. He's got like the security to
Sure,
like back
yeah.
him, but Casey Anthony don't got none of that. I bet if she walked through
know.
town one day, yeah, something happened to her. But
I don't think
rolled
she
through
can.
the South.
I don't think she can,
The South mamas are crazy out here.
dude.
Did you see that interview where like they did New York moms versus the South or Northern
Uh-uh.
moms versus the South? It was all over TikTok. Apparently, like an interviewer went to people from the North and was like, would you kill someone over like them hurting a child? And all they're like, just depends on the situation. Like, blah, 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 blah.
Everybody in the South was like, yes.
Everyone in the South was like, I will kill for my neighbor's kid, your kid, my kid. And I'd go to sleep at night without even blinking at like or batting an eye.
We got some crazy people down here, y'all.
Yeah. They were just like, you should look it up sometime. But all the
I'll have to
responses
watch
were
it.
like, all the moms in the South were sharing it on TikTok. They were like, no, I would literally gouge your eyes out and
Commit a crime.
not think twice about it. If you even come close to hurting a child, you can think of hurting a child and I'd come after you. Like,
that's just, I don't get it. I don't understand why. She was 2 years old.
she was 2 freaking years old. Defenseless.
And everybody was like, she just wanted a party. Like, she didn't want to be a mom. And then at the same time, everybody around her is like, she was a great mom. Like, every time she was around and had Kaylee, like, she never did anything that would have made me question. I don't know. I don't get it.
So back to the trial. So that was their defense, was that George
Sexually assaulted
Casey Anthony
growing up.
as she was growing up. And which to me what does that have anything to do with her being in a pool?
Yeah.
Nothing.
It
It was
doesn't.
sympathy.
There's like no relation to.
No, George
has
just covering up
happened.
the pool thing.
Yeah.
So it just makes no sense to me. So one thing that kind of irked me was Dr. Spitz was the guy who came to the trial and was like, oh, the hairband can do that to anybody. And he was debunking all the prosecutor
Yeah.
stuff, which if you remember, Dr. Spitz is the same guy from John Benet Ramsey that we talked about.
Is.
The same guy from John Benet Ramsey.
He is.
And he did the JFK and he did but John Benet Ramsey, he was on that team from that doc I watched. But now I think the man should retire.
You get to a point
He's
where
like 80 years old.
he's
How old is he?
90. Well,
Wow, I was way off.
90. He's 96.
Okay, homie needs to retire because science has come a long way.
He's still living.
I know he is. He needs to retire because some of the stuff he was saying was like a quack of nonsense.
Yeah. What other? I wonder if he's done any other. Is a German-American forensic pathologist who's worked on a number of high-profile cases, including the assassinations of John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King Jr.,
Mm-hmm.
Casey Anthony, Phil Spector, O.J. Simpson, and John Benet Ramsey. I mean, are some of the higher profile.
Yeah.
That's
So anyway,
crazy.
so the prosecutor comes in and is like, they're not their defense, but their whatever. Their evidence is the decomposition in the trunk,
Mhm.
the hair,
Yeah.
the smell.
The overwhelming smell.
Yep. And then she was found with her baby blanket. There was duct tape
Yeah.
all over on her face, over her mouth. And there was yeah, that's pretty much it.
She was in a laundry bag
She was in a laundry bag,
inside of the trash bag.
which they found the other laundry bag that matched it
because it was a set of two.
at the Anthony's house.
And it was a specific brand of duct tape that was found all over their
Yep.
house as well.
Is Casey Anthony the case? Did I read this somewhere else? Hold on, let me Google it before I state this.
I might not know either.
Okay, yes. The day that Casey, June 18th. So they think Kaylee died on the 16th. So which means she put her in the trunk, and she was in the trunk for a while, right? They said
Right.
that she had been in the trunk for a while. June 18th, the neighbor testified that Casey Anthony came over to his house and asked for his shovel on June 18th.
What the heck?
I knew I'd heard this somewhere. And to dig up some bamboo root and return the shovel an hour later.
They also found a search on the home computer for chloroform, which at first the what's it called? At first they thought that there were like 83 searches for it, but there was actually only one search. Still,
Yeah.
somebody searced up chloroform. on
And
the
they
family
talked about
computer.
that in the trial. And it was Casey Anthony's mom got on the stand and perjured. Is that the right? Perjured? What's the word? Perjured?
Committed perjury.
Yes.
Yeah.
She, by saying that she did it, she's the one that looked it up. She was looking up chlorophyll or something, not chloroform, and it pulled up chloroform. And they're like, well, it shows the same timestamp that you were clocked in at your job at work.
Oh,
And she said, I don't know, but it was me. It was me.
ma'am, did you hear the evidence that they just gave?
Yeah, they said, so you're saying that you weren't clocked in at work.
So you illegally were
Yeah.
clocked in
Yep.
at home.
Yep.
Which one is it?
Anyway, another evidence they had was the reason they think that the Kaylee was murdered by they think what happened to her, the prosecution thinks that her mother doused her with some chloroform or like put it on a rag or whatever, and
Hasn't done that this whole time.
I know. And then put tape on her mouth, which covered her nose as well, because she's tiny and a piece of tape would cover her nose and mouth. And she slowly went to sleep and never woke up.
Oh my gosh.
And they think that because when they did the test in the trunk, apparently when your body decomposes, it lets off chloroform. I didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't either.
But apparently it does. But the levels of chloroform were so high in the trunk that they said chloroform had to have been used in some way in the trunk. Because the levels were so high.
I saw somebody. I think it was on the docuseries where a lady was coming back and like fact checking all the stuff that they had like presented during the trial, and she was like the science, like she was double checking the science, and she was like the extremely high levels. Maybe it was chloroform. She was like can be found in household cleaners. So I feel like, which by saying that is only an aid to Casey Anthony. I mean, like, in what other way would she have killed her?
Yeah. I don't know. I know we're kind of like bouncing all over the place, but this isn't like a factual podcast.
I mean,
this is
everybody kind of knows.
We're just kind of talking about it. But George came out and said, like at the end of the doc that I watched, they asked him, they're like, what do you think happened? And he said, Cindy said, I think the pool thing happened. I think that she drowned in the pool and Casey hit her body or whatever. But George was like, no, I think Casey gave her something and she didn't wake up, like a sleep aid or something, and didn't wake up, and she panicked. And that's where Zanny the nanny comes from, because apparently like she takes Xanax or something.
Oh, wow.
And they think that she gave Xanax to Kaylee. And the drug on street name is Zanny.
Yeah.
So that's where that's where they think she got the name Zanny the nanny, because she would give Xanax to Kaylee to go to sleep. Like sleeping is the nanny, like Xanax is the nanny.
Yeah. It just really bothers me that she is not behind bars, like that she's getting to live this life. I mean, even though it's not a life, where she's able to do what she pleases, I'm sure, in the way that she's probably constantly in fear, but still. Even the judge didn't think the sexual abuse was accurate, because in the closing statements, he wouldn't allow them to bring up the sexual abuse because there's no physical proof of it, and they couldn't provide one witness that Casey has ever told anybody about it. So the judge threw it out, where they were not allowed to talk about the sexual abuse. I mean, what's the relevance to the case? It's not. And, it took the jury's 11 hours to reach a verdict. And the judge was even surprised. They interviewed the judge afterwards, and he was like, I had to read it twice because I was so shocked about the verdict. I think they paid off somebody. I really do. Well, I mean, she was sleeping with the, I just lost my train of thought. The attorney. Yeah, she was sleeping with her attorney. And then, Cindy, this is the thing that made me the most mad about Cindy Anthony, was that she said, in the doc, she said, she was happy with the verdict because she prayed to God that if Casey did do it, he would sentence her to jail. But if she didn't do it, he would let her off. And that was her sign that Casey didn't do it. Wait, what? Say that again. Okay, she said that she prayed to God that if Casey didn't do it, she would get off. Like she would not have to go to jail. Right. But if she did do it, he would sentence her to life in prison and she would be punished. Right. And because she got, like, the verdict became not guilty, she believed that was God's answer saying that she didn't do anything. Okay. And you know how I feel about that. But okay. Guilty people are found not guilty all the time. That doesn't mean that they didn't commit the crime. Yeah. I mean, clearly, look at this case. Anyway, July 5th, 2011, Casey is found not guilty. Dude, people went crazy. Insane. I remember when it was like trending on Twitter. After almost 6 weeks of testimony and 400 pieces of evidence presented in court, the jury of 7 women and 5 men takes less than 11 hours to reach the verdict of not guilty. On the 7th, 2 days later, Casey is sentenced to time already served. She had to serve 10 days after that. Casey receives a 4-year sentence and a $4,000 fine for the 4 counts of lying to the police, but the prison time is canceled out by nearly 3 years spent already behind bars and credit for good behavior. Casey exits the Orange County Jail shortly after midnight on July 17th, passing the approximately 100 protesters who showed up to demand justice for Kaylee.
And they can't do a damn thing about it.
Her lawyer said in a statement, "It's my hope that Casey Anthony can receive the counseling and treatment she needs to move forward the rest of her life."
I wonder who the jurors are.
Oh gosh, I don't know. Is that? We could probably look it up.
It's public record.
Anthony jurors. Casey Anthony juror speaks out 10 years later. "My decision haunts me."
Good. It should. Should I name him? No, I'm not going to.
Let's see. A month after the verdict, one of the male jurors spoke with People, to like people.com, to explain his take on what happened. "Generally, none of us liked Casey Anthony at all," he told People. "She seems like a horrible person, but the prosecutors did not give us enough evidence to convict. They gave us a lot of stuff that makes us think she probably did something wrong, but not beyond a reasonable doubt." 10 years later, that same juror has been rethinking the case. "I think of the case at least once every single day. It was such a strange summer. I knew that there was a public interest in the case, but it wasn't until after I was sequestered that I realized the whole world was watching."
This one says July 6, 2011 with ABC News. Casey Anthony juror Jennifer Ford said that she and the other jurors cried and were sick to their stomachs after voting to acquit Casey Anthony of charges that she killed her 2-year-old daughter, Kaylee. "I did not say she was innocent," said Ford, who had previously only been identified as juror number 3. "I just said that there was not enough evidence. If you cannot prove that the crime was what the crime was, you cannot determine what the punishment should be." A lot of conflicting ideas, blah, 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 said the vote was 10-2, not guilty. "I toggled with manslaughter and not guilty. It doesn't feel good, and it was a horrible decision to have to make." It says it was because we were sick to our stomach. Everyone wonders why we didn't speak to the media right away. It was because we were sick to our stomachs to get the verdict. We were crying, and not just the women. It was just emotional, and we weren't ready. We wanted to do it in integrity and not contribute to sensationalism of the trial. I'm sorry, but she said, I'm not saying I believe the defense. Obviously, it wasn't proven, and so I'm not taking that, speculating at all, but it is easier for me logically to point to from point A to point B. I don't know what that fucking means, but.
You ever done jury duty?
No. I've been called, but I haven't done it.
Really?
Yeah, I got canceled.
Oh.
This one says, the same woman says, "If there was a dead child in that trunk, does that prove how she died? No. Still no idea. If you're going to charge someone with murder, don't you have to know how they killed someone or why they might have killed someone or something, where, when, why, how? Those are important questions. I'm sorry, but like, it's a 2-year-old. 2-year-olds just don't come up dead.
In a trash bag, a quarter of a mile away from their house.
With duct tape on their face.
In the back of her car.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. She did it. Like, you cannot explain this to me. Like, no one can explain this to me.
Exactly like I said. If they didn't find, like, a bullet to know that Casey Anthony owned that specific type of gun to shoot Kaylee, that doesn't mean, like, I feel like the evidence is sufficient enough to prove that it was her.
It's like what is the word? Precedence? I don't know the right word, but it's like it sets precedence. I don't know if I'm saying the right word.
Precedent.
For future cases, saying that, if it's kind of like that theory that if you took like an ice pick and then stabbed somebody, there's no proof because it melts away how you actually stabbed them. So you're telling me just because you don't know how they were stabbed, even though they were stabbed, you don't know how they were stabbed or why they were stabbed, you can't convict somebody.
They're just kind of like, oh, well, I guess we've got nobody to convict.
It just doesn't make sense. So it makes I feel like attorneys can use this case in the future, defense attorneys, and be like, oh, well, this happened in case number blah, 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 blah. It's proof that it's just,
very aggravating. Very aggravating.
We kind of jumped around. It was kind of a wild ride, but
I mean, I now I understand why she has to live her life in solidarity. Solitude.
Hey, I actually got a word right.
Ding, 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 ding.
It really irks me. This case, like, I remember I was in the kitchen cooking the other day and I was listening to the one on Peacock, and I didn't even want to give that one a view, to be honest, because she got paid for that. And, but I was literally in the kitchen yelling, bull freaking shit. Like, I was like, no. And she said Kaylee's dad did that to her.
The way
it made me so mad. It made me so freaking
I
mad.
feel like she's just always pointing a finger at a different
person, like never herself. She never can point the finger at herself.
And she says things like, especially on the first episode of it, when it's just kind of introducing it, like all the components, she says things in a way that's like so theatrical to me, not in the way of like big expressions or anything, but it's like she's rehearsed.
Yes.
And is really trying to put the emotion in.
The crying.
It just does not seem natural. Like,
and you can see pictures from the court, from the trial, where she's like crying when it came to George and stuff like that. But like, she was like smiling in other parts, just like she was putting on a show.
I know. But then when they did the psychological test or whatever, the guy said that none of the tests came back that she had any sort of psychiatric or like a
mental health issues or anything,
right?
Like any
psychopath. She's not
tendencies,
right? And then that same guy who did the tests for it was interviewed by Anderson Cooper, and when he was like, I mean, none of the tests conclude that she is a psychopath. Anderson Cooper was like, how can that be? Like, he was being very combative with him. And I was like, yeah, how can that be? She's lying about every single component of this case. And
she's a compulsive liar. Like, she should be diagnosed compulsive liar. It's so frustrating. Really, and I hope her day, I want to say her day in court's going to happen, but that clearly happened, and look what happened. But Judgment Day will come.
Judgment Day will come. Yep. It still is so frustrating, though, that
it is
the justice for that little girl.
There is none. And the fact that she carries around all these photos of her daughter in like these drawings.
Hangs them up in her room. And
yeah.
Like, I don't
know. You know the world's going to freak out if she ever gets pregnant again.
Could you imagine?
Mm.
I wasn't thinking about that when I was watching the doc, but I was thinking to myself, like, imagine like if she were to apply for a job at like a daycare or something.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody would immediately like withdraw their kids.
Yeah.
She can't do anything.
Nope. And she became a private investigator.
She does like photography and stuff too.
Yeah.
And I was like,
who would hire you?
Yeah, have your picture taken by Casey Anthony. I don't know. It's very aggravating to me. Anytime a kid is involved, I'm already, and I think everybody, like, well, hopefully everybody agrees that it's like, it makes you 10 times more angry and upset because it's a kid.
Yeah. If I saw Casey Anthony outside at like Walmart, if I was in Walmart and I saw her, I'd be like, let's take this outside. Let's take it outside. Let's go.
Go on and head out.
Yeah. Come on. I'll walk you out.
Could you imagine? Oh my gosh. You're just in the grocery store. Go down the bread aisle. Casey Anthony standing there.
I don't know what I'd do. I'd become that crazy person, I think. I'd become that crazy person that would yell baby killer or something.
Would you?
I think so.
I think I'd be scared.
I genuinely think I wouldn't be scared of her. I'd be like, I genuinely think that I would be like, you son of a, like, just, I feel like I'd be that one that gets like the jar of peanut butter and starts chunking it at her.
It makes you that emotionally like involved, because when you're a parent, you think, what if it was my kid? And I can't understand.
I have a feeling she'll be in the news again soon.
Do you think so?
I'll predict it now. Oh, something's going to come up. I hope she's one of those ones where she's laying on her deathbed and she confesses, but she won't.
I was thinking about that too. Well, you know how you say often you're like, I wish there was some sort of truth serum
Yeah.
that just sets the record straight.
Yep.
But then I also thought about what if somebody thought they were dying and then they gave them the truth serum?
Here's the thing. She could come out today and say what she did and they couldn't charge her with it.
Why is that?
Let me Google it.
If she confesses to a crime that she was previously found not guilty for, they couldn't do anything with that? They couldn't detain her?
Hold on.
Okay. I'm genuinely I don't know anything about the court of law. I just know what I feel like should be right and what isn't right. I don't know. This is why I'm not a lawyer.
Can Casey Anthony ever be retried? Unfortunately, the answer is no.
Does it say why?
I'm about to look. Can Anthony K be charged again? A simple answer to the question is no. Casey was found not guilty of any charges, including first-degree murder, aggravated manslaughter of a child, and child abuse. She will not face jail time for these charges for Kaylee's death. According to law, double jeopardy prevents a person from being tried again for the same crime following a valid acquittal or conviction.
So, okay.
It's
so
double jeopardy.
If they're found not guilty, they're like, okay, you're not guilty of any of these crimes.
So if I stab you,
okay,
I go to court and come to find out I'm not guilty, they cannot recharge me again for stabbing you.
And then as soon as you're found not guilty, you say,
I stabbed Haley last night. Don't take that out of context, people, if Haley ever gets stabbed. But
oh my God.
I hope you don't. But I'm just saying, I just literally came on here and said, Haley, I stabbed Haley.
Don't take it out of context.
Yeah. Context.
This is Haley. Listen to this back if something ever happens to me. Okay, Ashley didn't do it.
Yeah. Anyway,
just kidding.
But yeah, they couldn't charge me if I came out and said, yeah, I stabbed her. They couldn't do anything because of double jeopardy.
Could you imagine, like, you're in a courtroom, it's over, like they give the not guilty, and then the person says, actually, I did do it. Like, what would everybody do? Just
Nothing.
stand there stunned?
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. You can try to get them on other things, I guess, but you would not be able to get them on that.
The justice system needs some work.
And you got to think though, like, if that wasn't in place, anybody that found it not guilty, they would just retry until it's finally stuck.
I guess so.
It sucks. It's a double-ended sword.
A direct, like,
makes no sense.
What's the word called?
Confession.
Confession, like a direct confession. That's not a. They wouldn't do it.
Mm-mm.
That's so.
That's why, like, for instance, like, this is kind of not the same thing, but like, if you go to a priest and confess, he cannot testify that you confess to him. Or like, if you're married, like, say you tell Zach, "Hey, I murdered someone." Zach cannot go on the stand and be like, "She told me," because you have spousal privileges.
Wait, what? Like, if I'd already been tried?
No.
Just
say
regularly?
you killed me and you went home and told Zach, "I killed Ashley." He cannot go on the stand and say
they can't use that as
they cannot use that.
Like,
no,
a witness or
no.
like supporting.
That's why people get married right before they go to trial and stuff. Google it. Hold on. Let me fact check myself.
I'm learning so much.
Hold on.
What in the world?
Privilege. Here we go. Okay. Spousal testimonial privilege. In criminal cases, the spouse of a criminal defendant who is called as a witness by the prosecution may choose to testify, but cannot be compelled to testify against his or her spouse about the events that occurred before or during the marriage.
Okay, so they can testify, but they can't.
They're not allowed to, or you can't make them testify.
Okay, sure.
Like if I witness like someone do a hit and run, they can subpoena me to go to court, and I have to show up and I have to testify under oath.
Right.
But if I'm married and like Zach does not have to go up there, he can say no, I don't want to.
And then even if they know,
Yeah,
that I've told this to Zach, they can't do anything with it if he chooses not to go on the stand.
correct.
Golly. Well, I mean, if the person who witnessed it or the person who was involved chooses not to go, then I mean, I guess that
It's the
makes
same
sense,
thing with a
but
priest.
I wonder if
Pretty
that
sure.
happens. Do you think that happens? Like where people who have been found not guilty of crimes go to like repent or something? Oh my gosh. I'm learning so much about the U.S. Court of Law.
I swear my phone's gonna get flagged.
Maybe, you know what we should do, Ashley? We should go to law school.
We should. Here, read this because I can't read half those words.
Oh. Can a priest be forced to testify? This is from White Law PLLC. If the prosecution can prove through the presentation of evidence that an alleged confession did not fall under the protection of priest penitent privilege, the priest in question may be forced to testify by law. So I guess unless it falls under a certain
Act or
protective
whatever, yeah.
order or something, they can or they can't.
But I think if you just go to confession and confess, he cannot say anything.
Can't then go to the police and be like, look,
Yeah.
Casey
He
Anthony
can.
just told me this.
I know they can. Like I've seen this in shows. They can, but they don't because then nobody would confess to them ever. Would never confess their sins. And that just they can get thrown out of like the priesthood or
Priesthood?
whatever
Oh, geez.
because
That's
you
like a-
ratted on somebody.
I feel like that's a moral
It is, but like
quandary.
that's why they think that like I'm not gonna get into that.
Oh,
I'm gonna stay up out of this.
Okay, I know where this was going, but I okay. That it does make sense now.
Yeah.
I mean, not it, but that part of it makes
We don't even know if we're
some
talking about the
sense.
same thing, but
I know
yeah.
that we're talking about the same thing.
Yes.
Okay.
yeah,
I mean, there's only so many things you could have been talking about.
yeah.
Anyway. Well, Ashley calls it. We're going to see her on the news. here
Sometime
in-
eventually.
In the next, what do you think?
I don't know, 5 years.
Am I psychic?
I
No, just kidding. Okay. Well, did you have anything else? Any other closing thoughts, statements?
I hate her,
sentiments?
and I
Hate
hope
is a
she.
strong word.
I don't care. I do not care. I hate HATE Casey Anthony.
Capital letters?
Capital
Bold?
bold
Yeah, I think that
and Cindy Anthony.
they have a very messed up family. And that does
Yeah.
that's not me saying that as a like any sort of what's the word I'm looking for?
Animosity. No.
No. That's not I'm not saying like, well, their family's messed up, and I'm not trying to like
Oh, downplay it.
yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I can't think of any of the English language today.
I know, and I'm getting it all right. What the heck? We switch shoes.
Every sentence I've said this entire podcast, I'm like, what's the word?
Well, I'm the one that keeps losing train of thought.
It's just been a day.
It has been. You're telling me.
But anyway, you guys know the drill. If y'all got any topics, any stories, any true crime cases that maybe you're interested in or don't know much about but want to hear some about, let us know. We'll be glad to do some digging.
Yep.
All
Yep,
right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.